EIU head coach Chris Wilkerson, the team coming off win over rival Indiana State, even their record 1-1. They're going to face their second FBS opponent of the season this weekend at Northwestern. So, Coach, just some general thoughts on your team, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Certainly just proud of the guys' effort. The theme of the week was to improve, and I felt like we did that. Some situational stuff that came up, backed up offense and defense. Hey, we went 99 and a half yards to length of the field to score and seesaw field position. That's a big momentum shift. We had them pinned on the 1 yard line, got a 3 and out, 2-minute drill to end the first half, and certainly the hands team kind of situation that came up at the end of the football game. But hey, there's a ton of things that we need to improve on. We are certainly a work in progress, but like I said, the theme of the week was for us to improve, and I feel like we did that. And now certainly our entire focus is on to trying to continue to improve, and a tremendous challenge and a great opportunity, again, like you said, to play our second Big Ten school of the year and go on the road to play a very well-coached football team in Evanston on Saturday night.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions. Dan, go ahead with as many as you got.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
So how difficult is it to play two Big Ten teams, not only in the same year, but, two of your first 3 games?
Yeah, it's certainly unique. But hey, we want to control what we can. And again, that's our attitude, our approach, and our response, our preparation for these opportunities. And, our players have worked really, really hard. Our strength conditioning staff's done a phenomenal job in the offseason. All things being equal, we're pretty healthy at this point in time. Hey, we're getting ready every single day and going to prepare the best that we can. And we're just going to control what we can. And that's certainly going to be our preparation for this Saturday.
Understanding that, game conditions and the score and field position and all that factor in. I don't know if you noticed, but MJ Flowers had 12 carries in each half, and Pierce Holly threw the ball 16 times in each half. I mean, it's kind of a statistical balance there.
Yeah, that's certainly not exactly by plan, because we are going to try to, take what they give us on offense. And hey, if we've got good numbers, we will either run or play action. And obviously, if we're short a guy, we're going to have to read or key somebody or throw it. But we would like to be balanced, and certainly the game was very competitive, so it wasn't a situation where we were just running the clock out at the very end of the football game. For us, we're going to continue to be balanced, and we've got to be able to take what they give us. Certainly, we do feel very good about MJ and the other backs in our backfield. Our offensive line has been really good at getting a body on a body, and obviously we feel very good about Pierce and the guys on the perimeter, and we've done a better job up front also trying to stay attached and clean up some of the protection stuff. So it was a big emphasis for us in the offseason, and through 2 games now we've only given up 2 sacks, and we're in the top 15 in the country in sacks allowed, and I think we're in the top 20 in the country in tackles for loss allowed. So another tremendous challenge this week, because Northwestern has a very physical, violent, aggressive front 4. They roll the guys through. They play 10 guys, and they're all really, really active, long, and big. So it'll be a great challenge for us this weekend.
Going back to last season, MJ has shown the propensity to seem like get stronger in the second half, and that seems to be where he gets some of his toughest yards. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think it's his physical nature and the time that he's put in the weight room. Coach Hillman does a great job in the strength conditioning area, and MJ works his tail off. He's added about 15, 16, 17 pounds to his body and has not lost a step. And so I think that's only going to help him as he continues his durability and being able to get stronger as the game goes on. He's a workhorse, and that's kind of been his MO since he burst onto the scene for us, that he just continues to get stronger as the game goes on, as he gets into a better rhythm and flow, and as the defenses start to fatigue late in the game.
He got all the carries, outside of Pierce running the ball. I noticed Jay Pearson was in there a lot of times for pass protection. Anything with that?
Yeah, no, I think they'll still continue to rotate through, and we feel real good about Jay. And Kendi Young is another guy that, has played a lot of football for us. He's kind of that third guy, and we know you need a pair and a spare in the backfield. And, while MJ has had the majority of the snaps so far, we know that everybody's going to be needed. We are constantly talking to the guys on the roster about being ready when their number's called. And Saturday was no different. Dearius had a lower leg injury. Dearius Smith, one of our wide receivers, had to go out, and a guy like Terrence Gibson all of a sudden was thrust into a little greater role and responded in an amazing manner and made some big plays and was prepared when his number was called. And so that's the task for the guys every single week. We never know who it's going to be, what position it's going to be, when it's going to happen during the game, but someone every week, their number is going to be called and they're going to go into the game anticipating that they're not really going to play a whole lot. And their task is really to be ready when their number is called.
I wanted to follow up on Darius, the extent of his injury.
Yeah, we'll know a little bit more later this week, but I would say he's listed as doubtful for this weekend.
And anybody else to be concerned with?
No, we've been, relatively healthy. Again, we've got bumps and bruises, and there'll be some guys that'll be limited during practice on certain days of the week. But again, I think the guys have worked really, really hard during the winter program and during the summer program and have prepared their bodies well. But this is only the third of the 12 games. So it's a long season. It's a marathon. And right now we're holding up pretty good.
I have one more for you. Northwestern announced yesterday that Jack Lausch, the kid out of Brother Rice, is going to make the start.
Yep.
Does that present any challenges, not having seen him on film now?
No, it's a small world. So, again, we go back to these ties and, Lausch, his aunt works with my wife at the University of St. Francis in Joliet. So as I had watched the Northwestern Illinois game at the end of last season, because of our connections to the Lunnies, we had seen Jack Lausch play in that game. And I've known of him, phenomenal athlete. Was a all-world baseball player, was set to go to Notre Dame on a baseball scholarship, and then this opportunity presented itself to play quarterback at Northwestern. And so he's been there, he's paid his dues. He is a very good athlete. I know people think that Mike Wright was a great athlete for him this year as the transfer who started the first 2 games, and he is. But Jack is a guy that is an outstanding athlete, can make every throw. I know him very well, along with A.J. Henning, their slot receiver. He's kind of their slash guy, come from Michigan. A.J. grew up a mile and a half from where we were in Mokina at our last stop. He went to Lincoln Way North, and when North closed, he went to East, and then obviously went to Michigan and now to Northwestern. But I've seen him since he was an 8th and 9th grader, running track and field, and a guy that is just extremely dynamic and explosive. But we're familiar with a ton of the guys on the roster. One of their starting defensive ends, McLaughlin, is a guy that played at Lincoln Way East. We've got a ton of kids on our program, and Lincoln Way East High School was only a mile and a half from my house in Mokina. So I'm very familiar with a ton of guys on their roster. They've got very, very, very talented players, and they're all very well coached. But Jack, it's a great opportunity for him this week, and I know he's probably looking forward to it.
Appreciate your time. I'll turn it over to Kyle.
Yeah, I got one last one. Northwestern's played 2 close games. One they won, one they didn't win in double overtime. What, as you prepare for a team, what have you seen them do in these close games that that you all can prepare for them?
Yeah. First of all, let me tell you what, Coach Braun has done a phenomenal job. Was a very unique situation. There was a ton of adversity they had to overcome, and to create the stability and the confidence and their ability to execute under pressure. All of last year, certainly during this offseason, when you watch them play on defense, they are physical. They are well coached. Their front is just violent. They're as fundamentally sound in tackle as well as anybody I've ever seen in the secondary. Both inside linebackers are all Big Ten guys. They're big and run and hit. They know exactly, they've got their fits just buttoned up. They know exactly how to fit every play. They know exactly where the vulnerabilities are in the coverages. And then on offense, again, they're very big and physical up front. Again, I've talked about AJ with his dynamic ability. They've got 2 other guys on the perimeter. The running back, Porter, is probably the best running back that we may see all season. He's explosive. He's got great feet. And they're an older football team. I mean, they start out of their 22 starters on offense and defense. I think 12 are graduates. And then they've got another 2 or 3 that are 5th year, juniors or redshirt juniors. So they're an older veteran football team. They've done a great job. Certainly it's a unique situation with that new facility, and they have really built a very, very strong culture. So we'll have our hands full, but we are really excited about the opportunity.
Coach, thanks for your time this morning. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks a million. Go Panthers.